And we're back, YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate that. Today, let's talk about Paths and Danger. I got a Steam key for free from the developers, so thanks for that. That will not influence my opinion or this review of the game. Now, Paths and Danger is a simple tactical turn-based strategy game heavily inspired by Darkest Dungeon and similar type of games. Although, in comparison, the graphics of Paths and Danger are a bit basic, and the character animations as well. It's hard to fault a small game like this for the graphics, but still, I was not really convinced about the graphics. Didn't really like the way that it looked. What's great though, that at the beginning of the game you select a hero from a variety of classes, and there's quite a lot of heroes to choose from, with pros and cons, and each with their own abilities to use in combat. Now, the town screen serves as your central hub from which you choose rudimentary quests in various difficulty ranges. Also, you can recruit new heroes at the inn and upgrade your gear. Now, when you begin a quest, you move your squad on these tiles. So on a very simple map, so to speak. You move from left to right. Sometimes on the map there are some flowers to be picked or items to be found that you can use later to upgrade your gear. But you're bound to run into enemies, and there's a good variety of them, from bandits to different beasts, and the actual combat is turn-based, so you have a limited number of moves for each of your characters. And the enemy units have the same thing, so they have limited movesets. Now, for instance, if you have an archer or a character with long range capacities, then of course you need to move these at the back, and your tanky units you put up front. So that's pretty much how far the tactics go in this game. Now, at times the combat can be pretty fun, especially because of the different trades that your heroes have. Now, for instance, if you're fighting a beast, now one of your characters has this disloyalty trait, so he at some point might decide, you know what, this is not for me, I'm taking off. So he goes away, and there's this other character in your group that has fear of beasts, so at some point he or she might decide to, you know what, this fight with this beast is not for me, I'm taking off. So you're left with only like 2 or 3 of your units to fight these beasts, so that can be a little stressful. Also, you can use your special abilities in combat here, which is really nice. Which means that, for instance, if you have a half vampire in your group, that can drain blood from enemies. And paladins, for instance, can shield bash enemies so that they get stunned and you get a free pass to hit your enemy. Some characters have healing abilities, so you can utilize that in combat as well. Other than that, the combat is pretty much RNG, so really up in the air. There's really no idea to know why you're not hitting an enemy at some point. It's basically, yeah, just luck, I guess, or a roll of a dice. I've no idea. Also, if you have a lot of characters on these tiles all together trying to fight each other, then things can look really messy, so it's hard to see who is who. Now, after a successful quest, you get a reward, usually that can be gold or items, again, to upgrade your gear in the town. Now, when your party is wiped out completely, it is game over, so you lose your save, but you can start over and do better and select a new hero with different traits and try that out. The problem that I had with this is that I didn't see a lot of rotation going on at the inn to select new heroes during the course of my playthrough, which is a bit disappointing, because the fun part of these type of games is that you sort of try and mix up your party with different characters, but you know, there weren't a lot of new heroes popping up in my playthrough. I don't know why. Maybe this will be addressed at some point later in time. So what I'm left with here is a game that does disappoint me a little bit, because it lacks a distinct style of graphics. The look and feel of it, I just don't dig it. There's a real lack of story. The repetitive nature of the fights and the lack of depth in combat are all things I just did not really like that much about this game. Still, if you're a fan of Darkest Dungeon and you want to play all these type of games, then yeah, why not pick this one up when it's cheap or on sale. This might be something for you. For me, it's just not enough. Thanks guys for watching. Let me know what you think, and see you next time.